box, you need players. And that's what Shafiq Ahmad kind of did last game, still growing into that number 9 role. Akia Rashid, what a great start for him. I know Safawi had a silly yellow card to be suspended, something which I personally don't like. He could have avoided it, wasting time. But Akia Rashid, at the tender age, this is going to be great, because he's going to learn a lot. The pressure is high today, but how good this can be for a player at his very age, getting a start at this very game. And what happens if they do qualify?
Yeah, what does happen? There will be knockout games in the weeks of the 22nd, 23rd and 29th, 30th of June. That would impact on the domestic calendar. There's going to be a minute's silence in respect of the death of Sultan Ahmad Shah, the father of the King of Malaysia.
Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly ask you to stand to observe a moment of silence in memory of the former president of the AFC, His Royal Highness Sultan Ahmad Shah, who passed away this morning.
오늘 아침 전 FC 대장이신 술탄 아마 샤 대장님께서 가져하셨습니다. 소화는 묵념의 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 팬 여러분께서는 자리에 일어나 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 1분 묵념. 감사합니다.
Impeccably observed. Johor will be hoping to celebrate the life of the former AFC president by making it a historic day for Malaysia as well. The little knot of travelling fans are there once again. The shirts are coming off. Mauricio has a big job to look after Luke Castamois. Although he's not scored many goals, he is a handful. Benjamin Mora and Luciano Figueroa alongside him. They've made the decision to go with their strongest available side. No Safawi, but Akio gets the start. Gonzalo Cabrera, so important as the link between Afiq and Harris in the heart of midfield, and the front two, Shafiq and Diogo. Injuries have beset Gyeongnam. There is no Jordan Much, who played in midfield for much of the early parts of the season. Injuries also bedeviled Faraz Al-Malias, who missed the game against Gyeongnam, having been originally named in the starting lineup. He suffered an injury in the warm-up. He'll be delighted to get back into this particular match. Both teams looking for the win, and also with half an ear on what's happening in Japan between Kashima Antlers and Shandong Luneng. We are underway. Ali Reza Fagani, the experienced Iranian referee, help forward for Haris Harun, and there is Cabrera onto Korbinong down the line, looking for Shafiq, scorer of the only goal in that that famous win. I was going to say infamous, that fabulous famous win against Kashima Antlers. Into Maurizio, Akia, Kunalan, little bobble as he just tried to play it in. And that'll be an early corner conceded by Yo Sung Hai. Diogo and Shafiq in the penalty area. Mauricio on the edge as they come short. Hoisted in by Akia. Cleared by Yo. Rafik Fazel giving Farizal an early touch. Closed down by Lucas Namois. Straight out of play. Xian's dink forward. Castamar, little nudge in the back there of Harris Harron. Adil has regained favouritism as the partner for Maurizio at the back for JDT. Experienced international, former international. Harris picks up the free kick. Afi takes it from the wrong place. When they started this journey, Stan, for the first 15 minutes away at Kashmir Antlers, Johor were like staring into the headlights. They were frightened bunny rabbits. But since that opening 15-minute problem, they've really accustomed themselves to this level of football.
Well, they've not been out of place. Far better than that is they've taken teams, especially Gyeongnam, were there for the taking in Lakin as well. They've grown into this tournament. That first 15 minutes at Kashima was them not knowing what to expect, and you're coming up against the defending champions, so all that buzz around this big competition probably got to their heads. But fantastic response from this side, and the bunch of players that have come up and put out performance. Haris Harun, notably Shafiq Ahmad, last game without Diogo for their famous win. So they've got a good group of players who really want to perform at this level and get something out of this.
Jung Hyun with the long kick, that's gone out of play as well. Goalkeepers like to get the ball wide, avoid these central areas where it can come straight back into you. On, back to Son. A little cautious on his left foot, but then coolly plays it back into Ans Gyeongnam. They've chopped and changed this season, have Gyeongnam, because they've struggled domestically in the league. Young Jae, long ball over the top, looks for Castelnau. We've got away from Maurizio temporarily. That was a little bit worrying for Maurizio.
Yeah, I think the first problem was Lee Young Jae getting so much of space to measure that little pass. A little run across from Luke Castelnau. Loose first touch, but
Rafik Fazel a little bit short. Oh, and that's a little bit tight as well. I got the dirty look there from Stanley Bernard. He is a coach who likes teams playing out from the back, trusting their fellow players. Kunalan hoisted out wide to Cabrera. Cabrera's cross off the top of the bar, although had been shepherded out by Jung Hyun.
Yeah, Gyeongnam was pretty committed to pressing Joe really high. They got 5-6 players out of the play immediately as Joe got out of it. And that's where Cabrera just getting a little bit of space on his left-hand side. He's been an outstanding signing since his arrival, Gonzalo Cabrera. I think we've not said that enough. How he's turned games sometimes with his individual brilliance, with his pace, with his trickery.
However, in this tournament, his miss against Gyeongnam in the first game, what a difference that could have made. Hitting the crossbar rather than a miss. On, out wide to Ngueba. He's got dazzling pace, and Harris just tracking Kim Seung-jun. It's been a rare success story in a difficult season for Kim Jong-poo's Gyeongnam. Andy Reza not too impressed with Castelnau. Diogo did well. Akia. Rafik Fazel was available. Akia loses out. And tracking back was Young Jae. On, closed down by Akia Rashid. That's comfy for Adil. Kunalan. Adil and Kunalan, veterans on the Malaysian football scene. colleagues at Negri Sembilan some 10 years ago when they were winning trophies. Here's Gonzalo Cabrera, and Cabrera pulls it back. Nobody's on the penalty spot. Rafik is closing and pressing and forces a hurried clearance. Castro can't keep it in. Well, that was a lovely run by Cabrera and a decent ball in, Stan.
Well, that's the kind of ball you hope. All you need is someone to be on the same wavelength. Just a bit late from maybe Rafik just running a bit late. But also sometimes positioning. You got to anticipate those movements or the ball. And then you got to make those movements. Just got to anticipate it.
Good pace there from Kunimoto, but also Mauricio was across, but at the expense of a corner. Kunimoto thought, there was a chance just to nick it past Mauricio.
Well, the youngest player in the Gyeongnam side.
Corner to be hoisted in by the Japanese. 4 big men in the penalty area. Cleared by Shafiq, not convincingly. And there certainly is an aerial threat there. Lee Kwang-seon. He's a 6'3", 6'4" player, the number 23. Castagnaro will attack. Haris Harran, Aidil and Mauricio got big jobs to do there.
Yeah. Now Gyeongnam got that goal in Lakin was through a corner. Kaiktoahi.
Farizal punches two-handed. Ngueva. Looks such a silky player. We haven't really seen it from in this AFC Champions League campaign. Mauricio can't get there. Farizal, double save. Castagnaro denied. Big chance for Gyeongnam, big save from Farizal Malias.
Well, they didn't deal with this really well. There you go, a little bounce. Harizarun could not get his feet through. Lucas Tanua. Lee Kwang-seon actually getting the flick on. What a save there from Farizal Malias. Double save, focus on the ball, makes himself big.
Third corner in quick succession. This time it's Yo Seung-hae who gets up highest but can't direct the header towards Farizal's goal. But they are a big team. They've got Kwang-seon, Seung-hae and Castagnaro, all 6 foot plus, and Kim Seung-jun.
Well, the clear bit is exactly what you're mentioning. All those 3 players, Young Seung-hae, both the centre backs combining there. Finally, Castagnaro, who's been struggling for goals, still does not find the back of the net.
Sympathetic pat on the head. Diogo scored twice in this AFC campaign. Jun Hyun mopping up. Slides in. He's down on the ground. And the flag is up for offside against Ngueva. Man on the floor is Woo Ju-sung. Harris does catch him, a committed challenge from the Singaporean. Ju-sung will be all right. He'll be overlapping down the right-hand side. Good athlete. Arn's header. Rafik, lovely turn. Shafiq starting deep. Mauricio, intercept of Ngueva. Dispossessed by Shafiq onto Aki Rashid. He runs out of pitch to play in. Gyeongnam have started like a team who aren't in good form. One chance they have really created for the Dutch striker Lucas Hanar came from set piece. There's the Dutchman once again, couldn't keep it in again.
But what they have started with is with work. They're putting in the work off the ball. They're trying to create situations where they can force an error from how Johor plays out from the back. You can see they're trying to create overloads in certain areas.
Diogo. Great strength from the Brazilian. Here you go. How about this? Kashima Antlers 0, Shandong Luneng 1. That game also on the Fox Sports networks. Not encouraging you to look away. We'll keep you up to speed with what's going on, but it's gives Johor Darrell Taksim all the incentive they could possibly want. I'm wondering if they know on the bench, Stan. I'm wondering if they're keeping a track on what's going on.
I'm sure they will be. Very, very sure, purely because their fate is not in their hands. Kashima only needs a draw. But I don't think the players will need to know that, because as players, all you need to know is you got to go and do your job and hope for the best.
Harris pushing through the back there of Seungjun. Unable to beat the offside chop there. It's been a tamish start other than that one big effort, and it's just not great centre forward play, is it? Willing worker. Adil onto the Diogo. Akia will maybe look to take on. Oh, it's loose. Picked up by Castagnat. That's loose. Presses on. Oh, Diogo was trying to close down Seungjun. MJ. Seungjun smothered by Laver Corbinong. He was named in a full Malaysia international squad for some internationals coming up against Timor-Leste Asian World Cup qualifiers. Afiq Fazail onto Kunalan. Mauricio tries the angled 60-metre ball. Pereira won't fancy too many one-on-ones against Woo Ju-sung. Well, not with the ball in the air anyway.
There's been a little bit good piece of work here in terms of...
Shot comes in, not comfortably held by Jeonghyun, but Shafiq Ahmed full of confidence after that goal against Kashima.
Well, he's in the right area as well to try and early try at the goalkeeper. We know has had 3 starts of the three last game, because Leon Bun-Soon has always been their first pick. As we just mentioned about the chop and change, they've changed the entire back 5 in comparison to that game against Larkin.
Afiq, free kick goes the way of Johor.
Yeah, just coming back to my point earlier, I mean, there's been a bit of work here by Gyeongnam to try and make that midfield really tight, and the spaces in the middle has been really tight. They're not allowing Johor to go through the middle. It's just allowing them a bit more of those diagonal passes, play through the wide side, but not through the middle. So most notably, Lee Yong-jae just leading that middle of the park.
Castagnat offside. He thought he'd angled his run well. Got to say, as a location for football, this is one of the more picturesque you see in Asia. Nice tight stadium, 15, 16,000, perfect for football. Good playing surface. Johor haven't scored in the first half of any of their 5 AFC Champions League games to date. Oh, they'd love to change that. Cabrera loses out. Young Jae driving forward. Korbinong, who's been immense throughout this tournament. Out wide to Kwang Seon. Harris and Maurizio. Korbinong needs to protect possession, did so. He'll force back to Farizal, who needs to be careful. Happy to take on a player and play a pass across to Maurizio, but that was tight. That was a little bit scary, because Seongjun was closing down very, very quickly.
Well, that's clearly the work what Gyeongnam has done in the week to face Johor.
Castagnot again offside.
Must have done a lot of work just watching what they were weak at Laken, because they were second best at that very night, even though they got a draw. They were there for the taking. Johor did not take the opportunity, but looking at his first 15 minutes, a lot of tactical work has been done by Kim Jong-poo, especially in the middle of the park. That was the midfielders forcing that little pass back to Farizal, and then you could see Kim Seong-jun anticipating that pass, trying to just force errors out of Johor's build-up play. But credit to Johor, they've actually kept and stuck by their identity very well in this campaign.
I know you're a big fan of Farizal's ability as an outfield player. Tamisi has been rushed a little bit, so when he's in possession. We'll go on to that in a moment when Farizal back in the game. But Shafiq Ahmad, nice little build of a play, 1, 2, 3 touches. Shafiq just probing for half an opening, extra men situations. Harris along to Diogo. That'll go out for a throw-in, because Korbinong had made a very advanced run. Xiang happy to put it out for a throw. Korbinong's got a long throw, although invariably he fools us when he winds up like this. Not this time. Puts it in and cleared well by Kwang Seon. The second time from Ahn Seong-nam. Maurizio lets it bounce. Castagnot. Just enough, Maurizio. But they've got a man over. Seongjun tried to pull it into Castagnot. So pressing on the Johor back line has been prominent in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a very fair battle. Johor maybe having more of the possession, but you could clearly see what Gyeongnam is also trying to do, is hit on the break. After working really hard off the ball, they're just trying to get that little space, and they're very quick to try in those spaces. I'm looking at Luke Castaneos, I'm looking at Kim Seong-jun. They're just finding areas where they can drag those centre backs apart, Aidil and Maurizio.
Little collateral damage to the Dutchman. Starts his career as a youth at Feyenoord. Good looks not affected too badly at the moment. Gyeongnam 0, Johor 0. Elsewhere, Kashima 0, Shandong 1. The draw no good for either side on the pitch here. Their only chance is to, if they get a win, if they gives them a chance to qualify. Maurizio, nice first touch. Diogo closed down very quickly. And then closes himself down. Good work ethic. He's been a good signing for JDT from Buriram.
He's grown into this team. I think early on, he didn't have the best of pre-season. Struggled a bit with injury, took his time. Credit to Johor because they did give him minutes to get himself into the shape he is right now. But I think we've been seeing him in domestic games against Pahang, where he's been outstanding, just taking defenders to the cleaners, and he's coming to that form why they really wanted him from Buriram.
Towering header once again coming in from the captain, Kwang Seon. Cabrera helps it forward. Diogo, man you were just talking about. Corberon goes outside of him. Diogo helps it in. This is Shafiq. Kunalan outside. Nguema having to do some defending. Shafiq Fazale. Quietly, effectively plays in Corbin Ong. Corbin just too far ahead of Afiq. And then Corbin's now got to chase back because he's out of position. Harris has got to cover. And there is a chance for Castelmoine to take on Maurizio. And Castelmoine's cross dealt with by Kunalan. Afiq, that show how he's grown physically as well in this tournament. Solid challenge on Woo Ju-sung, concedes the free kick, but an Afiq maybe of 12 months ago might have just sat off the big man.
Well, good point you make, because I think he gives more than Nacho Insa. I just think it's a blessing in disguise. I know they would rather have Nacho at least on the bench available, but I think it's a blessing in disguise that Afiq's been given so much minutes purely because Nacho was injured, got his groin injury back-to-back. Never had a good run of games, Nacho Insa, but Afiq's just come in and they've never looked back since.
Young Jay's long ball, easy for Farizal, who can take it waist high. So Kunamoto's long ball in. Takehiro Kunamoto, Fukuoka born, the southern end of Japan. Castelmoine tries to haul Harris to the ground, but he's a big strong fella, Harris. Diogo drives forward, runs into traffic. There's a man down, so Johor can play on. Maurizio in a left wing position. And Cabrera thinks of putting it out of play. Very sportingly does. Stanley Bernard Samuel does not like that as Lee Kwang Seon is on the floor. Talk to me, Stan.
Well, the rules are out there. If the referee sees and deems it as serious, he would have blown the whistle and stopped play. You just got to go on. It happens. It's part of football. It's contact sport. There you go. It's a clash. He'll be okay. Not a problem. Don't stop your attack. It's a complete waste there from Cabrera. I know it's sportsmanship, but it happens too often in football when footballers use it as an advantage where they know they've been probably out of play and then try and stop an attack. Look at him, he's fine. There's no reason for Cabrera to stop that play.
25 minutes gone. Best chance has fallen to the home side, Gyeongnam. Vast majority of the ball, though, has belonged to the men in royal purple. On, down the line. Dispossessed by Kunalan. He's having another very effective season. Figueroa and Mora. Range just behind Johor Darul Taksim. Harris. Akia. Real space.
Firstly, I think they need to be a bit clever. Gyeongnam has come up with a plan. They kind of know that JDT play out from the back. That's been the only hiccup so far. They've managed the game well. Besides that, they've done pretty well to keep Gyeongnam quite quiet. Luke Castellanos perhaps got a couple of times behind Mauricio or Ideal. Overall, I'll be pleased. I really need to cut out that part where Farizal's getting pressured. Just be a bit more clever when not to do it, when you can just force it long, because sometimes you just can't play it out from the back when you're outnumbered. And Joe must be looking at the statistics. Gyeongnam has conceded 25 goals in the K-League in 12 games. It's the worst record in K-League so far. So put them in their own defensive half. Ask them questions.
Mauricio's header. Up forward by Ha Sung-min, but bounces over Woo Ju-sung.
And clearly that answers why you don't see the 5 that played at Lakin. The new 5 for Gyeongnam at the back, including the goalkeeper.
Shafiq got there ahead of Ahn, but just couldn't get enough purchase on the header to release Akir Rashid. Here's Kunimoto. Sunghai. Kunimoto starting very, very deep. Confident player. Neatly played in. Overlapping is Woo Ju-sung. And Ju-sung's cross again. Taken waist height by Farizal. Looks for Akir. And Akir's tugged back there by On Seung-nam.
Actually, what we've not seen, almost hitting the half-an-hour mark, is Deng being able to spread the ball towards Cabrera, who's holding his hamstring.
That's not what you want to see if you're a Johor fan.
Yeah, and Akir Rashid, they've not been able to play the ball wide. It's been tight down the middle. Harry's not been able to combine with Diogo. Diogo's always collected the ball on the right or left-hand side, not through the center. We've not seen Cabrera with any of his mazy runs because he's not been able to collect ball in good areas. Akir's not been able to collect ball in good areas. So there's a huge night here for Haris Harun and Afiq Fazal, who are the link. In how Johor plays, they are absolutely the link. Because Mauricio Ideal carries the ball out. They need their midfielders to link play with the front three.
I think Gonzalo Cabrera is going to be all right. He isn't one who goes to ground too easily. So when he does, you put on your worry cap. Small but enthusiastic groups of supporters. Free kick will go the way of Johor. Oh, that'll break to Castanois. Lovely ball inside, Jeongjun. But the pace once again of Eskunalam rescues JDT. Negueva can't control first time. Kunalan's worth his weight in gold. Seung-hai. On Seung-nam. Nice no-look pass. Perhaps the wrong ball. They've gone for Ju-sung. They've got to start again. Finds Ju-sung inadvertently. Kunimoto. Adil has to be careful. And is Korbinong, though, less careful of the possession. The free kick has gone there against Ha Sung-min.
Well, I really think Diogo's really clever. He has seen the commitment of Sung-min's tackle, and then he just gets there just in time. And because it starts showing, it's a foul. This is a man under pressure.
He is, isn't he? And he looks like a man under pressure.
Absolutely. I mean, after finishing second last season, a very fast second, I must say. 21 points behind John Book Motos. That's how far John Book finished on top of the K-League last season, runaway leaders. It's been a very much different story this season for Gyeongnam.
Ngueba, Youngjae wants to get onto his left foot, Youngjae. Cabrera. He does such good work defensively as well as going forward. Gonzalo Cabrera. There he tracked the run of Woo Ju-sung.
Yeah, he does work his socks off. I don't think many sees that attribute that he has, but he's one of those players that you really need in a team, because conditioning wise he's top draw. We always often say you got to play the game for 90 minutes, and Cabrera's one of those. You just go back to that game against Kashima. He ended that game with a shot on target, and that's how that game ended. And he was running into the box at that very end, and that shows the kind of player he is and how he keeps himself.
Afik loses out to Sungmin. Driving forward, Seungjun. Sungmin again. Gyeongnam. Kyogo, an auxiliary left back. Through the middle, Harris happy to receive, under no pressure. Afik. Pushed it out to Kunalam. Nice composed bit of football. It eventually finds itself to Aki Rashid. Might want to take on Ahn Seung-nam. Double teamed. Ten minutes before half time. Good pressing from Shafiq. So nearly comes off. You can see from his reaction he thought he'd just done enough. Corbinong wins a header. Diogo. He's dragged Hwang Son out of the middle. Harris. Been out for his 30-yard efforts. Harris looked like he changed his mind midway through.
Yeah, I think Diogo was just getting into an area where he could have played that little 5-meter pass, but Harris has been one of the best players this Johor side. A bit ambitious on that. Bit more positives here. I think 31, 32 minutes. Looking how Gyeongnam's been set up, it's been really tough. For the first time, I see a bit of space just opening up, because what you need from Kim Seong-jun, the number 10, he needs to drop in the hole. When he doesn't, then Haris Harun and Afiq Fazal will start to find a little bit more space. And that's what perhaps you're seeing right now, because Kim Seong-jun and Luke Castanua are actually playing now a bit more like a 4-4-2. So for them to get back into the number 6 area, it's quite demanding. And if Joe's smart, this is the area where they can capitalize.
Harris skillfully evades the challenge. Adil. The other group, Guangzhou 0, Daegu 0, Melbourne 0, Sanfrecce 1. Haris Harun. He's looking very at home in this level of competition. Corbinong gets to take the ball with him, but gets a throw in, which might release another long Corbin throw. As the mountains overlook this fabulous little venue. Corbinong, well dealt with by the solid defensive work of Lee Kwang-seon. Lovely little touch. Kim Seung-jun can accelerate. Ngueba. Silky runner, Ngueba. Still Ngueba. Ngueba! From halfway. But that's the danger that the Brazilian offers.
Well, it was a clever little pass from Kim Seong-jun, who released Naguba. And then he always was going to fancy himself when he saw that little space, seeing defenders just scrambling to get back into position. And I thought at the very end he kind of lost his bearings a little bit. Just thought perhaps he was in the center of goal, not knowing that he's gone a bit more left.
Mauricio. Diogo will chase. Jusung has to scamper back. Lovely little dummy from Kunimoto, but so good. None of his teammates read it. They look great when they come off. Akia. Right down the back of his calves. Gets straight up, but ACL Gyeongnam will be having a talking to from Alireza Fagani. Harris. Shafiq wants it, demands it, eventually gets it. He's had the one Johor effort on target in this first 38 minutes. Harris had one off target. Diogo again, most of his work being done outside the penalty area. Cabrera, first touch, not quite what he wanted, then tries Felix Akia. Shafiq! Oh! That's a whisker away from Shafiq Ahmad.
Well, nice little work here from Gonzalo Cabrera. Sees that little space, attacks it with a bit of pace. Tries to track that pass through to Akir Rashid. And then the ball falls nicely onto the part of Shafiq Ahmad. You can see exactly what he was trying to do. Tell you what, I think Song Jung-yoon got him by surprise. Shafiq did catch him by surprise. Not really sure if that was on target. I know Sung-jun was there. Not really sure if he would have got it.
I certainly wouldn't. It's a whisker away from a Johor goal. Dominating domestic football, 5 times champions in a row, 10 points clear, with barely 2/3 of the season gone in Malaysia. Shafiq, what a story it would be if they could make it to the knockout phases. What a story for Malaysia, that is. They've already recorded one first, that victory over Kashmir Antlers. And now they've got themselves a corner, which Gonzalo Cabrera will trot over to try and take. Converting 1 or 2 Koreans into Johor fans as well, I feel. And why not? Diogo, Mauricio and Harris, and Shafiq and Adil, all in the penalty area. Corbinong lurking on the edge. Harris was trying to get there, another imperious header from Kwang Seon. Akia. Kwang Seon again gets the important touch ahead of Adil.
Yeah, he's been outstanding with his positioning. He's been anticipating. 29-year-old who did not start in the early season. You would have seen the likes of Tae Hui, who scored in Laken. After conceding 25 goals in 12 games, you expect to have some changes. That's exactly what Kim Jong-poo has done to that back four.
Corbinong launches another one. Well, the header, almost inevitably, from Lee Kwang Seon.
It's been a solid 40 minutes here from JDT. A bit of scare on the counter, which is you expect when you go out with numbers to attack. There's more counter-reaction football from Gyeongnam. They are set up on counter-reaction well. JDT is taking the game to them.
Kunimoto. On. Akia just trying to get a touch on the ball, just catches the ankle instead.
Well, he's yet to get into the game. He's playing against a 35-year-old Gyeongnam down his left-hand side. With all the experience Gyeongnam has had, what he's done really well is not allowed Akia to breathe. Because you pretty know if they go down for a race, who's going to win that little race.
Harris, not the best header, helped out by Maurizio. He's under pressure from Lee Kwang-seon. He's emerged as the most important figure in this match so far. Predominantly defensively, but he's set up the best chance for the home side. And now he'll be a danger as this ball is curled in from Lee Young-jae. Cleared by Diogo Ngueba. Didn't quite catch it right. We've just had a couple of glimpses of Ngueba. His silky running causing one opening.
I think what's been his problem throughout the season is he's never been consistent. You get one good game out of him and then he goes missing for 3 games. You certainly know he's got the pace, he's got the trickery.
Again, pressure on Johor as they do try to play out from the back. Minutes before half-time. Maybe now Moran Figueroa will say, just don't concede at this stage. 0-0's quite a nice position to be in. Something to build on.
And they've proven in the last 5 games in this group that they are stronger in the second half. They do kind of increase the intensity of play, the fluidity of play.
Shandong still holding on to the lead against the defending Asian champions Kashima Antlers. Here's Kunimoto, given a rather roving role. Kunimoto, lovely ball, looks for Castanar, but starting position from Farizal. He's not the kind of player who can really run onto those balls. He needs it at his feet, it looks like, Castanar.
Yeah, he also needs the balls down the right-hand side and him just attacking that 6-yard box. Gyeongnam has not been anywhere close to that kind of form this season to provide service for their number 9 and number 10. Credit to Kim Seong-jun, who's already scored 2 goals in this competition, 4 goals in the league, because he's worked his socks off. And I'm looking at him after 30 minutes. He looks knackered because he has to do so much work defensively. But he's also now the goal-getter as well.
Kunimoto, chased by Korbinong. Korbinong again. Diogo, the pressure from Kwang-seon. Sung-hai. On to Gyeongnam. Cabrera wasn't far away from picking up that pass from Kwang-seon. Now into the corners, Lee Young-jae against Laver Korbinong. Kunimoto wants it on his left foot. Sung-min. Ngueba, desperate to get involved, but that's a wasteful cross. Easily dealt with by Laver Korbinong, and it'll break to Afik. Diogo. Yeah, Courty. He is clever, Diogo, I know what you mean. If he goes for that full-blooded, he's not going to get the foul.
It's about awareness as well, just feeling the intensity of a player or a defender, the distance and what kind of speed is coming in. So all sometimes you got to do is just stop in your track and then you get knocked on. That's a foul. No, you probably have something to say about it, but it's a foul.
Yes. Half-time whistle goes. At the moment, it's not good enough for either of these sides to progress to the knockout phases, but both are still in with a shout. Gyeongnam 0, Johor Darul Taksim 0. Over in Kashima, it's Kashima Antlers 0, Shandong Luneng 1. So everything to play for. Half chances for Diogo, best chance falling for Shafiq Ahmad, but at half time it's a satisfactory but yet inconclusive first half. Gyeongnam 0, Johor Darul Taksim 0.
Thank you, Des Corkill and Stanley Bernard. Yes, it is half-time at the Changwon Football Centre. Goalless at the break, no good for either side at the moment, but there is another 45 minutes of football to come. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you highlights across all the 4 games happening right now in the AFC Champions League.
On the ball, off the ball. Movement's the key. Whether you're passing, scoring, or celebrating a win, remember this rule to keep your cool with Rexona Men Motion Sets. Because the more you move, the more freshness it releases. Make the right move with Rexona Men.
Stop thinking you've seen it all. Start seeing, never before seen. Out of this world. Depth and detail. One giant leap for resolution. Samsung QLED 8K.
The 2019 KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship. May 24th to 27th, live on Fox Sports 3.
Dare to dream, and Spurs strike again!
Get in on the action.
The most important is to believe.
Exclusives and more.
A statement victory from Tottenham Hotspur.
With Spurs TV on Fox Sports.
This is one of the deadliest places on earth.
What are we testing for?
Ebola, Zaire. There's no cure, no vaccine.
We are in the midst of an outbreak.
Do you have any idea what kind of panic this will cause?
It will wipe us out if we don't get ahead of it.
The Hot Zone, same day as the U.S., starts Tuesday, May 28th at 9 a.m. and 11 p.m. on National Geographic. On the ball, off the ball. Movement's the key. Whether you're passing, scoring, or celebrating a win, remember this rule to keep your cool with Rexona Men Motion Sets. Because the more you move, the more freshness it releases. Make the right move with Rexona Men.
Welcome back. Yes, we are in the halftime break here in the AFC Champions League. At the moment, it is a goalless at the Changwon Football Centre between Gyeongnam and Johor Darul Taksim. We do have a goal, however, in Japan. It is Kashima Antlers 0, Shandong Luneng 1. We'll discuss the repercussions of these halftime results in just a few minutes. Over in Group F, we do have a goal as well, and that's come down under in Australia, but it is for the visiting side of Sanfrecce Hiroshima. The Group F winners have a 1-0 lead over Melbourne Victory. Guangzhou Evergrande and Daegu FC currently 0-0 in Group F, and that is good news for Daegu FC. Well, let's begin our halftime analysis in Group E. JDT are currently goalless against Gyeongnam FC. We're going to take a look at the match stats, and as you can see, it's actually pretty positive reading if you're a fan of Johor Darul Taksim. They're dominating possession. Total number of passes more than 200. And passing accuracy is very good, an extremely good 81.4%. But, John, they do need that goal if they hope to progress into the next round.
Yeah, they do. They need a few more attempts on target, and they need to be a little bit less careful. They've been nice and tidy. They've been keeping possession of the ball quite well. Some few little triangles going on there. And I like that they're not forcing the issue. But I think they can be, in this second half, a little bit more adventurous. They can back themselves a little bit more. This isn't a good Gyeongnam outfit at the moment. They've got some good players, they've got some athletic boys, but they're in poor form, and they look like a side that's coming off the back of 4 defeats. They're there for the taking. If Johor really want to start being progressive, I think Gyeongnam are there for the taking. It's a lovely evening, it's a nice stadium, beautiful pitch. I think JDT can really kind of start forcing the issue a little bit more now.
Yeah, Gyeongnam have a very, very poor defensive record, especially in the K-League. They've let in more goals in that league than any other team. But we're going to take a look at the highlights, and there was action at the other end of the pitch. Farizal actually came up with a fantastic double save. First off, Yo Sung-hae, and then Luke Castellanos.
Yeah, fantastic block by Farizal. That one was very important, and then how quickly he recovers. He gets off the ground and blocks from Castaños, who never really showed a lot of confidence. But that is a stop because Farizal Malias, sticks a leg out to prevent the ball from going in. So well done, goalkeeper. A goalkeeper who a season and a half, a couple of seasons ago, was all over the place, but he's got his composure back, and I think he's been in this competition. I think he's been fantastic.
Yeah, he's kept the JDT in this competition and in this game as well. It wasn't looking too good initially because Nguema himself for Gyeongnam had an excellent chance here in the 37th minute. No cigar in the end, John.
No, it was a nice kind of counter-attack, really quick feet as well from Nguema. That sums Nguema up for me. Does some really nice stuff, the build-up play, some electric runs there, nice loose hips, and it's that final ball. That final ball with him. He's a nearly man right now. And how long does he want to be a nearly man? Not for much longer, I'm betting.
I just want to bring up something that you just mentioned, John, that final ball. Because Gyeongnam, no, they haven't dominated possession, but they have had several forays into the JDT third, into this JDT half, but that final ball, Chevy, just not happening for them.
No, not at all. And, they either overhitting passes or underhitting passes, and in this situation, just not having enough confidence. I mean, you don't have to play the ball early. You one-on-one against the centre back, drop a shoulder, do a trick, go past him. But I mean, you see that again, generally it's just simply a lack of quality. I mean, Castaños, has been very, very poor. He's not the quickest. In this situation, once again, why don't you keep the ball? Keep the ball, wait for support to come, and then you can make a few passes in and around the JDT box. So, need I say more, Colette? Just poor quality.
Is it just nerves, Chevy? Because they know that they have to win this match.
Well, if you think that that is nerves, then I think you should not be playing at this level.
Wow. You should be nervous. Shouldn't be nervous playing.
Stay
nervous playing at home, Chevy. Should you? Not against.
Not at all.
Not against opposition who are making their debut in the Asian Champions League as well. I just think that when you're struggling for form, you start overreaching. They know they need the result, of course, but time is going to tick away at the same pace as it always does. Best thing you can do, and we've seen it from the best teams right now in world football. I'm thinking about Manchester City, I'm thinking about Juventus. They take the legs away from the opponent, and the best way to do that is start moving the ball around and stretching them. I thought Kawasaki Frontale were brilliant at it yesterday against Sydney.
Okay, you talk about teams who are struggling for form. JDT, not one of them, because they are on a great streak at the moment, both domestically and in the AFC, because they're looking for back-to-back wins. Shafiq Ahmad, of course, he was so instrumental in that victory against Kashima Antlers on match day 5. Almost got another one here, Chevy.
Well, he has been their best player. He's playing in a number 10 role, not as a number 10, but as a second striker behind Diogo. And yes, I mean, this ball, when it comes to him, he does everything right. You got to hit it early, you got to get a bit of curl on it, but just unfortunate not to hit the back of the net.
Okay, we're going to take a look now at the average formation for Johor Darul Takzim. 5 players in the opponent's half. What do you make of that, John?
I make of that the space in between each individual is really nice and consistent. That's what you want to see. Haris Harun, you can see him just anchoring that halfway line there. I think he can creep up a little bit higher. I also think that JDT can back themselves a little bit more to start a little bit higher up. I don't see a great deal of pace from the opposition, from the home side. And as Shebi's already mentioned, Castaños right now doesn't have a clean pair of heels. So I think JDT can start helping their midfield out by pushing a little bit further forward.
Okay, so 0-0 at the Changwon Stadium between Gyeongnam and JDT. Not the best results, but at the moment they're still in it, because I can tell you that Over in Japan, Kashima Antlers, who only need a draw here, are a 0-0 down to Shandong.
Yes, and it's once again a set-piece situation. To the far post, Gil hits it back across, and Marwan Fellaini hits the ball, and Kwon Suntae stops it behind the line, so it's a goal.
Okay, these matches coming, highlights coming to you thick and fast. We're in Guangzhou for this one between Guangzhou and Daegu. Paulinho there had his shot blocked in the 10th minute.
Yeah, Hwang Bowen just angling the ball in there. Paulinho stooping to almost conquer. Both these sides need to win this game. Massive fixture, this one. And as the ball just gets whipped in there, what a great effort that was. So close.
Okay, so it's 0-0 in Guangzhou between them and Daegu. Down under, it is a 0-0. Sanfrecce Hiroshima leading Melbourne victory. Taichi Matsumoto giving them the lead in the 5th minute.
Well worked set-piece situation, near post flick on, and at the far post it's Matsumoto just powering his way through in a game where, I mean, credit to Melbourne victory. They've come out with their full-strength team. It's good to see the likes of Barbarouses, Toivonen, Honda, Carl Valeri all out on the pitch. So well done for respecting the competition.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got 4 games going on right now. We've got 2 goals and plenty of action still to come. We've got the second half coming up for you here on Fox Sports. In this game between Gyeongnam FC and Johor Darul Taksim. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
On the ball, off the ball. Movement's the key. Whether you're passing, scoring, or celebrating a win, remember this rule to keep your cool with Rexona Men Motion Sense. Because the more you move, the more freshness it releases. Make the right move with Rexona Men.
Stop thinking you've seen it all. Start seeing, never before seen. Out of this world. Depth and detail. One giant leap for resolution. Samsung QLED 8K.
Is your colour. Then take a trip to Stamford Bridge for views, results, and all the news. Chelsea TV on Fox Sports.
Bring me the lamp. Your life begins now. Aladdin.
You really don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamb, none of that ringing a bell.
On the ball, off the ball. Movement's the key. Whether you're passing, scoring, or celebrating a win, remember this rule to keep your cool with Rexona Men Motion Sense. Because the more you move, the more freshness it releases. Make the right move with Rexona Men.
A very warm welcome back to the Changwon Football Centre. We are in Changwon in Korea. It is Gyeongnam versus Johor Darul Taksim, AFC Champions League Group E, match day 6. It's not quite winner takes all, but winner takes the possibility of going through to the next round, depending on the result somewhere else. Doesn't sound quite as dramatic like that, but goalless at half-time. Johor Darul Taksim will be pretty satisfied with their first 45 minutes. We've had a false start to this second 45. Levere Corbinong deemed to be in the opposition half as the Kickoff was taken. So, take two. Johor 0. Gyeongnam 0. Kashmir Antlers 0. As Akir Rashid nearly gets ahead of Ahn Sung Nam. Has caught him inadvertently as he tried to get there. Stanley Bernard Samuel, former Malaysia international, with your neutral cap on. Johor can be satisfied with the base they built in the first 45 minutes, Stam.
Yes, but they've got to build on it. They've got to be more bold. They've got to be a bit more brave. Because if they hurt the result, I think the players, well, if I was in Benjamin Mora, Luciano Figueroa's position, I'll use that as a motivation. Saying, good, get that win now. And once upon a time it was a dream, and now it could be reality that Johor could make the knockout stages, but still all to play for. Kashima at home, anything can happen. A team who knows too well about playing at this level with the pressure, so much to play for. But what JDT's got to do is, they've got to do their own job, which is get the win.
Shafiq Ahmad with the free kick there. No change at half-time, as there's an injury for Ngueba. Let's just talk you through the lineups for Johor. Shafiq Ahmad will pick up a yellow card. They've got Farizal in goal, Kunala, Maurizio, Adil and Corbin Ong along the back. Oh, doesn't seem a lot in that stand. He's caught him, but clearly going for the ball. Harrison Afiq Fazel in midfield. Shafiq Ahmad kind of in a number 10 role, with Akia and Cabrera providing the width. And Diogo up front as that runs through to Farizal, who Castagnot unable to get on the end of it. He's not been able to get on the end of much other than one three-quarter chance in the first half. Woo Sung drives forward, helped in by Lee Yong-jae. Keeping a very close eye on what's going on between Kashmir Antlers and Shandong Luneng. Afiq Fazel for Johor. Shandong leading by a goal to 0 there. Corbin Ong doesn't follow through. Hwang Xion. Castanos brought down by Maurizio. Second yellow card inside 2 minutes at the start of this second half. First foul, he's saying. Iranian referee Ali Reza Fagani. Xiang Hee. Ahn Sung Nam. Helped for by the player of the first half, Lee Kwang Xion, but that's not a great ball for Gyeongnam. Son Jung Hyun in goal, back four of Woo Jun Sing, Lee Kwang Xion in shot, Yo Seung Hai and Ahn Sung Nam. In midfield, the holding midfield is Ha Seung Min with Ngueba, Kunimoto and Lee Yong-jae. Pushing forward, Luke Castanos and Kim Seung-jun up front. Now then, this is an injury. It's a waist-stroke lower rib injury that Mauricio picked up, if I recall, in the game against Kashima.
Yeah, it's really worrying. But if there's one thing that's positive out of this, is they've got an able replacement. A man who's played at this level, looked at home as well, Adam Norazlin. And he'll be partnering Aidil, because Mauricio has actually given a signal.
He has, instantly, yeah. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of those, because he looked like he was holding that part of his body in the first half after one challenge. Now, is it leg? Is it groin? Is it lower waist? Customer pats him exactly where the injury is in a friendly way, but for Johor, now Mauricio, he's an important player. And Adam Norazlin now has a huge task. Young Malaysian who's got a chance to make a name for himself in this second half.
Well, he's got a bit about himself. He's got a bit of character which is largely missing with a lot of players in modern days football. But Adam Norazlin certainly has that character.
Rizio off. Adam Noor on. Enforced change. The young Jay. Corbinong again does ever so well. So understated the work that Corbinong does. Afik back to Adil. Adam lets Farizal control. Farizal does put Adam in a difficult situation. Sensible. That breaks to Diogo. He's got Akia to his right. Here's Akia Rashid. Chance to run at his man. Akia. 9-9s it up straight into the gloves of Son Jung-hyun.
Well, remember you making a point about Farizal in the first half, and that shows you how important it is when you're playing off the back to have a goalkeeper who's really good with the ball. Ball-playing goalkeeper. Under pressure, knocks the ball, turns into a very decent attack. Rashid could have made a better cross out of it. It just gives you a sense of confidence to play out on the back when your goalkeeper has no problem playing under pressure.
Adam Norazlin finds Akia. Throwing goes to Johor. In their change strip of purple and black, but it's a change strip in which they played regally well. Diogo. Poporam striker. Gets himself another free kick to the frustration of Has Young-min.
Again, he just gets ahead of the defender. And there you go. And then there's a little tuck.
A draw no good to either of these sides. If it's a draw, both will be eliminated no matter what happens between Kashima and Shandong. Diogo might fancy this. He's got 2 goals to his name already in this Champions League. Diogo. Deceptive shot that fell into the gloves of Jung-hyun.
I don't think he had enough power behind that. He just tried to put it on target. It's going to be easy.
Akia forcing Afik Fazale to go backwards. Helped in by Harris. Sliding challenge. Oh, Afik will be yellow card number 3, I feel. Oh, the desperate challenge on the foot of Hans Young-nam.
Yeah, stats showing. That's where I think he earned the yellow card. There you go.
These teams have only ever met once before in any competition. That was that 1-1 draw at the Larkin Stadium. Match day 2. That's hands on the shoulders from Adil, who becomes the senior partner. The first change now for the home side, and it's an attacking one. Baek Hee-jung is coming on for Lee Yong-jae, who's been on the periphery of things.
Well, a bit of a cult figure at Gyeongnam. Baek Hee-jung, 35 years of age, replacing a 24-year-old. Speaks of a bit of more, maybe a bit more control in the middle.
Free kick to be taken by Kunimoto. Kunimoto wedges it up. Put over the top by Castanos. The flag, though, was up for offside against Lee Kwang-seom. to spare the blushes of the Dutchman.
Well, I think the linesman was absolutely spot on. I was wondering if the referee have seen the linesman took a while. Miles offside. Kwang Seon.
Through the back is Yo. Been a very disjointed opening 10 minutes to this second half.
Well, I think it's still to the advantage of Gyeongnam with the way these first 10 minutes have gone about.
Diogo, Safik. Couldn't take it in his stride. Lee Kwang-seong concedes the corner kick. Gonzalo Cabrera will trot over. Happy to go short with Akia. Weber defends well. When you've got a 2-on-1 overload, you do expect to get the cross in. Possessional stats still very much in Johor's favour. Adam Norazlin fires it in at Cabrera. Al Sung-min dealt with by Kunalan. As far as Kunimoto. Done well, Kunimoto. Nagueba. He disagrees that he's offside. That would be an interesting one to look for. It's him who's being called off.
Yeah, he's clearly offside. It's miles offside. Because Adam Norazlin has just returned back into the position. So Ideal's been holding the line. Just needs to be on the same wavelength with Corbin and Kunalan, who's just gone to get a ball in the air. So again, JDT holding a very good line at the back.
Akia. Difficult ball, Harris done well. Weber, can he keep it in? No is the answer. Runs out of space.
So clearly what's been said at halftime is to push Afiq Fazal a bit more further forward. I just think maybe they should be more brave, but maybe putting Haris Harun a bit more forward. Maybe Afiq sitting in that number 6 area.
Diogo. Shafti cool chase. It'll come through to Son. Again, Nagueba seeing more of the ball. Can go either way. Goes outside Kunalam. Nagueba. Played in by Kunimoto, but far too much space on that from Kunimoto. Baeki Jong coming in at the far post. Rather frustrated with the pass.
Well, again on the break, they've got that little pace in Nagueba.
Great reaction shot by the camera. He knows Kunimoto.
Yeah, but that's poor by any standard. He wouldn't like that directors are picking that shot.
Former Malaysian international Stanley Bernard Samuel with the analysis of Johor's efforts to create just a little bit more history. Nagueba, oh, it's through Adil and Bay couldn't stretch. Yo Seung-hai on. Alan picks it up to Akia. Adam Norazlin scoops it badly and recovers his own error. A ball given against Haris Harun. Johor captain and the Singapore central midfielder, who again has had a very, very solid game in the heart of midfield. His reputation was already pretty high. He's grown in this AFC Champions League competition. Nagueba, more influential. Flag stays down until... He does like to put the flag up late, the assistant on that far side. Castanoy, it was who was offside. Corbinon can break forward. Shafiq Ahmad. Cabrera. Bit of space for Gonzalo Cabrera. Corbinong with Diogo in the middle. Hoisted high on out to the edge of the box where Ngueba picks up ahead of Kunalan. Silky movement away from Harris. Kunalan tracking back. That would be a very interesting foot race.
Yeah, that's where the problem lies as well. Ngueba has just upped his performance a little bit. He's contributing a bit more. He wants to take on players.
Chance on goal is Bay! Farizal with a super save. Bae Ki-jong had the chance. Farizal has kept Johor alive.
Well, that's really clever from Bae Ki-jong, showing experience, keeps himself on side, takes a beautiful first touch, but then I think he got stuck. And this is where and why Farizal was the best goalkeeper in Malaysian football last season. And again, just upping his performance again. Celebrates it like a goal. Well done, Farizal.
Danger still not over. Corbinong's header. Bae Ki-jong again denied by Corbinong. Flicked on by Afiq. Diogo. Afiq. Shafiq. Neat and tidy from Afiq Fazel. Diogo. Falls over the outstretched leg of Kunimoto. Quickly taken by Afiq. Cabrera. Shafiq available in the middle. There is Bae. Quite right about his ability to see the chance. Just left a foot hanging out as Corbinong goes over again, quickly taken or attempted to be taken by Afiq Fazel. Still 1-0 Shandong. That means this game is wide open. Harris invites Cabrera to hit the touchline. Cabrera can't get the better of Ha Sung-min.
Well, I think Joe's got to realize they do press cohesively, collectively, and force Gyeongnam into a situation. Gyeongnam just has come from counter-reaction on the transition. As you have a look, beautifully kept himself on side, then thought it was a good first start, then he got stuck a little bit on his second.
Akir Rashid wriggles free. Akir again. Just runs into a brick wall called Lee Kwang-seon. Pendulum very much swung in the way of the home side in the last 10 minutes or so. Coinciding with Maurizio's departure. Injured, I should say, not for a red card. It's 11 versus 11. There's his replacement, Adam Noor Aslin. Harris is in there and scoops it forward with the hand. What about the high foot, says Harris. Gyeongnam, 3 to aim for. Bae, Castana and Seung-jun. Drives in, Castana was there, post and in! It's either Castana or Bae, but the end result is a goal for Gyeongnam. And now they have advantage.
Well, firstly, it was a very, very well put free kick. Just the top of that 6-yard box. You had at least 3 players in great attacking that area, as you can see. There was a flick on from the captain, Kwang Seon, and how many headers has he won tonight? And then look, Castañeda just handles it. I think the final bit has to go to Bae Ki-jung, who put it in, because it was his left foot that swung it in. It's the inside of the near cross, near post, and just goes in.
Well, Castañeda's claiming it. Doesn't matter who scored it. It's a hammer blow to Johor. And hope springs eternal now for Gyeongnam. Johor must score twice. They've not been able to do that in any of their previous 5 matches in the AFC Champions League. You're quite right to point out, though, it's the aerial prowess of Lee Kwang-seon. Been so important. Kunimoto just behind Bae. Diogo. Ah Seung-min received a yellow card earlier on. Just confirmation there. Akia. Johor need a response, a quick response. Good effort from Akia. Skidding shot, but well collected by Son Jung-hyun.
Yeah, it's taken about 66 minutes for Akia Rashid, perhaps to show the first hint of what he can do. It's taken a long while. He's been kept quiet by the experience. Seongnam down his left-hand side. I just like Seongnam's positioning, how he just protects himself, because he knows that Akia has got pace.
Harris, Afik, Diogo, Akia. Afik carries on his run and does enough to force a corner off Lee Kwang-seon. Tell you what, that young fellow will have an awful lot of scouts chasing him. Quickly taken. Cabrera. Ngueba defends well. Afik Fazel. Chance to play the ball into a congested penalty area, gone. Flat ball comes to Bae Ki-jung. Even though he's not been credited with the goal, he's really made a big difference since he came on about 12-13 minutes ago. Bae Ki-jung. Ngueba once again caught offside. First header, so important. Castañeda, I think, will get the credit off the post. He's a striker. You'd claim it, Stan. You'd claim it.
It's the one for the dubious.
You try and take it off him. Foreigners are paid by the goals, particularly centre forwards. You know that. Nice idea by Castañeda, trying to release Young Jun. Johor have got no option but to maybe have a go and risk conceding a second. Diogo! Diogo! Good goalkeeping.
I thought his first touch was a little bit far. He just let it across his body, and then this is where I thought he lost his chance. Jung-hyun covered his near post well, and then positioning was good as well for the far post.
Kunimoto trying to drive forward. Well, now it'll be Gyeongnam fans very much with an eye on what's going on at Kashima, and I can tell you there's a goal between Kashima Antlers and Shandong Luneng. And it's gone to Kashima. One apiece. Indeed, 2 goals in a minute. for Kashima. Sho Ito has put Kashima Antlers within touching distance of the last 16. No matter what Gyeongnam do here, no matter what Johor do here. Nazmi Faiz Mansour about to come on for Akir Rashid. So a real turnaround in both games. Gyeongnam, they are now hoping that Shandong can do them a couple of favours. I love these last day dramas. So many stories within stories. And maybe there's twists yet. Johor, though, have got to focus on their game. They need an equaliser, then they need a winner. Cabrera. Blocked off by Ki Jung. And Cabrera catches Woo Singh.
Well, as I mentioned earlier on, I think you mentioned about the 10-minute mark where the game has been a bit of stop-start. It favoured Gyeongnam, and that's how we've come to this point where Gyeongnam has been clever to capitalise on their little fouls in good areas. They did warn Johor a couple of times before they actually got the goal. But Lee Kwon-soon has to be, so far, 71 minutes, been the best player on the park. He's won so many headers defensively, and then offensively whenever they get set pieces in good areas. He's also won those headers.
McGrabe has had a frustrating afternoon. Glimpses of his ability. Guangzhou leading Daegu by a goal to nil, so Guangzhou might have rescued themselves on the last day. Melbourne have equalised against Sanfrecce. 4 matches, all kicking off simultaneously. AFC Champions League Eastern Groups. Shafiq can't get the challenging on Castanos, who at the moment is the match winner. We'll get a yellow card for over-exuberance. Goal and a yellow card. Adam Noor-Haslin. Diogo. Shafiq. Kunalan's made the run. Shafiq tries to play it through the legs, through the eye of a needle almost, but Yeo Seung-hae has been solid alongside man of the match Kwang Seon. Diogo. Kunalan. Guess who's there? Kwang Seon again. Castanos. Is it a genuine injury? Well, it looks like he's going to be replaced anyway. Ko Kyung-min preparing to come on. That'll be a like-for-like replacement. But the Dutchman can go off to ripples of applause. Not been substituted yet. Johor in possession. Oh, Nazmi trying to play in Kunalan. Ngueba did well. As you can see, Castagnard is still on the pitch. Adam Noor-Haslin wins the ball effectively. Again, Shafiq tries through the eye of a needle. Diogo. Foot was a bit high. It's still a little bit scrappy this second half. Castagnard goes down under pressure from Adam Noor-Haslin. Johor need a bit of inspiration. Gyeongnam happy to make this as scruffy and as ugly as it needs to be.
And credit to them, that's what they've done in the second half. They've made it tough for football to flow. They've capitalized on a set piece. At some point, they looked like they were the side that perhaps are going to qualify. And then in seconds, Kashima has shown that they've brought out the best side they've brought out in this whole competition. That's why perhaps they are ahead.
The 27-year-old keeper Sun Jung-hyun can take his time. They've had a lousy time of it recently. Their only victory of any note in recent weeks was an FA Cup win over Daegu. They've struggled in the league. They're in danger of being in the relegation playoffs in the Korean K-Classic. Nazmi given away by Afik. The danger as they try to probe forward that they'll concede a second. Baeki Jong. Referee belatedly gives a free kick against Afik Fazail. It's important in these conditions Johore's young or younger players keep their heads, realise there's still 14 minutes, there's still time to create an equaliser, and then who knows, who knows. Castanar comes off. Ko Kyung-min will be the replacement. There is the all-important goal. Very definitely he is claiming that. Great shot from amongst the spectators, unless of course you're a Johorian fan. Diogo. Shafiq. Score of a thrilling goal against Kashima 2 weeks ago. Kunalam blocked off by Kunimoto. Up for by An. Ngueba. Adam Norazlin's there, just caught by Ngueba. You're on quiet, Sam.
Well, I'm just looking at a match where I think it really is leaning towards Gyeongnam, purely because of how the flow has gone about in this second half. Things have been clever as well. Credit has to be given to Kim Jong-poo. Master stroke. I always say that when you do substitution, it has to influence the game, and that's where Baeki Jung, outstanding observation there. The minute he put him in, what he wanted from the game, I think he achieved it immediately. He must be satisfied from that point of view, because it affected the game. How Baeki Jung all of a sudden on the right hand side became very lively. Corbinong was bombarding forward in the first half, was fairly comfortable down his left hand side. All of a sudden he's got a bit of problem here, Baeki Jung.
Diogo. Kunalam. Shafiq. Long range shot from Shafiq. It might break to Kunalam. Indeed it does. He'll take the corner. Great point you make. We've looked at the attacking influence of Baeki Jong, but defensively he's stopped something that was working for Johor. A bit more urgency as Cabrera comes over to take this. Can't beat the front man. And Nazmi! Not too far over from Nazmi Faiz, Mansour.
A nice little swipe from Nazmi. Just perhaps just leaning a little bit back.
Great shot.
Great technique. But was never gonna drop enough, because what you need to do is you gotta lean forward, and your touch perhaps gotta be a bit more softer. But good try from Nazmi Faiz, Mansour.
Adam Norazlin's got to be careful. Adil. Adam. Adil. Corbinong. Cabrera. Look how many red shirts just track in front of him. Diogo. Nice ball. Kunalan, where's the final ball in? Kunalan blocked down by Ngueba, who's been very solid defensively. Diogo, great skills. Looks for Cabrera! Big chance for Gonzalo Cabrera. Beautifully made by Diogo. That might be short, but Farizal is there to mop up. Cabrera to Corbinong. A bit too much on that. Corbinong wasn't able to keep it in play.
Yeah, I think Cabrera is struggling with a bit of his... don't know if it's a groin or a hamstring, but he's certainly struggling a little bit. Had a glorious chance. I thought the vision here from Diogo's stop draw just threads it through beautifully. Hanging ball. Gonzalo Cabrera was half balanced while he was going down and got his laces on the ball. Then again, Jong-hyun must be keeping his place ahead of Lee Bom-soo with this performance.
Been solid, hasn't he? As Hazwan Bakri prepares to come on for JDT. I can't see Gyeongnam going on to win the AFC Champions League, but I can see them being stubborn opponents in the round of 16 if it is confirmed they get there. No, they won't, can they? Because Kashmir are there. They'll be stubborn opponents anyway. Ngueba. Flag stays down and then goes up late again. The assistant referee over on the far side loves to play with our emotions.
Yeah, again, clearly miles offside. It's been a team in the second half from Gyeongnam. Must not be happy with how far. Margins are okay. They've been clearly offside. Hazwan Bakri coming on. Shafiq Ahmad has worked his socks off. Great playing minutes here for Hazwan Bakri, who's not seen a lot of football. Not far too long ago, was MVP of Malaysian football, and then he's been stagnant. He's not progressed enough to be forcing for a spot in the first 11. Very much a bench player.
Kashmir 2, Shandong 1. 2 goals for Sho Ito after Marwan Fellaini had given Shandong a half-time lead. Kashmir win, they go through alongside Shandong. Kunalan. Cleared by guess who? Lee Kwang-seon. Breaks to Afiq. Important challenge from Baek Hee-jong. Just come on. Kyung Min just holds the ball up. This is Gyeongnam. There's nothing they can do with what's going on in Japan. They've just got to make sure they win this game and hope that Shandong can rescue them.
Well, you can leave it to the last day, but you got to leave it in your hands, and that's what Kashima has done. If not left it in other hands, but both the sides here in Johor and Gyeongnam, they know what was the situation as they walked into this final day. It's not in their hands, but they got to do their job and hope for the results favor them. And at the moment, Kashima is deciding their own fate.
Kwang-seon. Baek Hee-jong drives it in, and Norazlin defends superbly.
What an impact he's made, Baek Jong, 35 years old. As I mentioned earlier, a bit of a local hero here in Gyeongnam. You can understand why. He's just got a bit of quality in him.
There's a clash, I think it's shin on shin or knee on knee there. Kunimoto and Adil. A game isn't a game without Adil getting a knock. Oh, ouch, it's knee on shin. Bone on bone. Ouch on ouch. There'll be a bruise there tomorrow. Bit of ice, hopefully, will provide the cure. For Benjamin Mora and Johor Darul Taksim, a first ever foray into the AFC Champions League. By no means disgraced. Looks like they're going out, probably bottom of their group. But 2-1 defeats in Shandong and Kashima. 1-0 defeat here. A 1-1 draw against Gyeongnam. An excellent historic victory over Kashima Antlers at home. The one that frustrates me more is that I thought they could have done better against Shandong at home in the first game. If Diogo, good dummy, but Cabrera not on the same wavelength. Corbin Ong, great challenge. Still Corbin Ong, wants the foul, doesn't get it. Ali Reza perfectly positioned. Baek Jong just bides his time, makes the right decision, goes through a couple of challenges, plays it eventually out to Ngueva. Ooh, again, he's offside, and well, Ngueva's got to accept a lot of responsibility there.
Well, if I was Kim Jong-poo, I will not be happy. Professional footballers who can see a straight line, you cannot be offside.
Hey, hold your line.
It's bread and butter. You do it daily in your training, cannot be offside. And he's done it 3 times.
Cabrera finds Harris. Diogo. Block coming from Yo. Johor chasing a morale-boosting equaliser. They'll get themselves a corner here. Surely a corner. Indeed. They've travelled a long way to Japan and China and now Korea. Some familiar faces in the group behind the goal that Johor are attacking. Azmi fires corner. Hoisted high. Immense challenge again from Lee Kwang-seon. Azmi's ball. Header from Adil! Oh! That was as close as Shafiq Ahmed's effort in the first half.
Well, beautifully measured in there, but Azmi fires Manso. Timing was right. The bend was right. The contact was right. The accuracy just a little bit wide. And Jung Yun was beaten.
Again. Final minutes. Commendable first performances from both Gyeongnam and Johor as Kunimoto drives forward. Ngueva onside. Ngueva wide. Gunalam 4 minutes. Diogo. Clever from Diogo. Goes down, got himself in front of the defender. Earns himself a corner, Diogo. Kashima still leading 2-1. Gonzalo Cabrera has one. Weber gets his bearings all wrong, concedes the corner. The defensive header from Kwang Seon. It's a great question you asked. The Opta stats don't keep the number of defensive headers, but I reckon we're into double digits for Lee Kwang Seon, and now the break is on. Wrong choice. Harris.
I think what Johor will learn from this entire campaign, these 6 group games, is they've measured themselves against the very best at this level. They'll know what to expect if they qualify for next season. 10 points lead at the moment, a gap in the Malaysian League. Kind of in the right way, or in the right foot to kind of qualify for the competition again next year. But it's only done them good.
Farizal, a long way out of his goal, keeps the ball alive, and then Adam Norazlin, little tug back on Kim Seung-jun. Well, we've spoken throughout the campaign of the learning curve for the likes of Adam Norazlin, for the likes of Afiq Fazel and Aki Rashid, and Hazwan Bakri, who's on the pitch now, Shafiq Ahmed. Safai Rashid has certainly grown as this competition has grown, and he's arguably a contender for one of the goals of the tournament. Corbin Ong's reputation has been enhanced. Kun Allen and Adil have put an exclamation mark on fine careers. Agueva. Throw in for Johor. As the old adage goes, though, for both of these sides, unless there's a truly dramatic turnaround by Shandong, it's going to be back to the league. But maybe there's an equaliser. Cabrera couldn't take it in his stride. Corbin Ong looks for Diogo, belted clear by Sung Hai.
Well, it's going to be a very much different story for Gyeongnam, who at the moment can't be figuring out anything except trying to stay in the K-League. They've certainly been in the K2 in the last 5 years, couple of times, coming back on both times. Once was in 2014, once was in 2017. Now they're fighting relegation.
But they've got a 2-on-1 break here. Kim Seung-jun, and it's tough on Johor. But the second goal from Takehiro Kunimoto secures the victory for Gyeongnam. Defeat for Johor Darul Taksim.
Well done to Seung-jun, because he could have taken it on his own. He waited for Kunimoto, 21 years, youngest player on Gyeongnam's side, to seal the win. And that's the risk you're going to take when you go out and try and find the equalizer. But it's been an outstanding campaign, nevertheless, for Johor Darul Taksim, who are the first time comers into this competition. And Gyeongnam back to the drawing board. Got to focus.